Please come in. You're right on time. The door only opens when the clock strikes midnight. Georgia and Hannah are preparing to broadcast from the belfry. Just like this old bell tower, they have many stories to tell. Some old and some new. Follow me up these stairs, but mind your step. Ah, they're waiting for you.
Can you hear me?
It only took 20 minutes.
Yeah. Now we know for next time.
Yeah. I just don't have an aux cord long enough to reach, so normally I just plug my headphones in directly, but
Yeah.
now I just have these ginormous things that are too big for my head.
Do they not adjust at all?
They do, and they're still too big for my head because I'm not a freak like other people.
Maybe you just have an abnormally small head.
I don't think I
And
do.
those headphones are for normal people.
I don't think that's the case.
They don't make headphones for large-headed people, Georgia. It's not a thing. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
But if they did, Shannon would probably have to buy one. Definitely.
Pretty fucking big.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things about like studio headphones is they are just huge.
Yeah.
Like
These are
not just the things that go over your ears, but like the band as well. I don't know why or how, but
well, these are like gaming headphones, so I assume they were designed sexistly.
I don't know. I know a lot of gaming headphones are designed after studio headphones.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we all know that a lot of products have been designed for not women.
What? Okay.
All right, Georgia.
Anywho,
we got a thick one today. We got a substantial 7-page document here for you.
Oh.
Lots of names and lots of words that I'm gonna have to take a second to remember how to pronounce.
My next one is 9 pages, so
okay, that's good. Are you ready?
Yeah, I forgot what we're talking about.
I mean, you'll remember immediately in the literal third and fourth word that I'm about to say.
Okay. I'm good.
The term missing link
okay.
was influenced by the 18th century Enlightenment thinkers such as Alexander Pope and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who thought
Fake
of humans. Yeah, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. There's going to be a lot of good names in this one. There's a very specific one that I highlighted later on.
Okay.
Because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to say this out loud. Oh my God. They thought of humans as links in the great chain of being, which refers to the, at the time, thinking of this hierarchical structure of all matter and life. They were influenced by Aristotle's theory of like the higher and lower animals. The Great Chain of Being was created during the medieval period and was very strongly influenced by religious thought, Christianity, in being that God was at the top of the chain, followed by man, and then animals in like the hierarchy. There were also angels and archangels and all that shit, but you know. Anyway,
who cares?
It was during the 18th century that the set nature of species as a thing was questioned compared to this great chain. The dual nature of the chain had always allowed for seeing creation as like one continuous whole with potential for overlap between the links.
Mm-hmm.
Radical thinkers like Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, who we know and don't love,
Mm-hmm.
saw a progression of life forms from the simplest creatures striving towards complexity and perfection. Zoologist Henri de Blainville also accepted this way of thinking,
Also fake name.
also fake name. And the very idea of ordering organisms by a hierarchy, even if supposedly fixed, laid the basis for the idea of the transmutation of species. The earliest publication that explicitly used the term missing link was in 1844 in Vestiges of the Natural History of Creation by Robert Chambers, which uses the term in an evolutionary context relating to gaps in the fossil record. Like, we're missing something here. We can't figure out how one thing gets from another.
When was that?
1844.
Okay.
Charles
Not
Lyell.
not the same Robert Chambers that wrote The King in Yellow.
I hope not. No.
It'd be really funny if it was.
Right?
Hold on. Robert W. Chambers. Yeah, he was born in 1865. Okay.
Okay. Charles Lyell used the term again in 1851 in his third edition of the textbook Elements of Geology as a metaphor for the missing gaps in the continuity of the geological column, that's what it's called. I'm assuming that means, the pictograph of like the different layers, the
Yeah,
strata
like
of the
the
earth.
stratigraphy. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Throwback to
also
Lyell.
he also used the phrase for transitional types between different taxa in his 1863 Geological Evidences of the Antiquity of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Baptiste Lamarck envisioned that life is generated in the form of the simplest creatures constantly, striving towards complexity and perfection through a series of lower forms. In that lower animals are simply newcomers on the evolutionary scene, never been seen before.
Mm-hmm.
When Darwin published On the Origin of Species on November 22nd, 1859,
Mm-hmm.
which one day I will get tattooed on my body, one thing was missing from his argument, a missing link, though
Mm-hmm.
the term never actually appears in the book. Darwin knew that his claims could benefit from paleontological evidence of a species transition. He sort of references that throughout. He wanted someone or him to find an intermediate species connecting, for instance, humans to apes.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 2 years after that was published, on January 3rd, 1863. What?
That
No,
that math doesn't add up.
that doesn't math. Yeah, bitch, that's not less than 2 years. Whatever. On January 3rd, 1863, Charles Darwin received a letter from his paleontologist friend Hugh Falconer with news of a recent find, the Archaeopteryx. Yeah, we know and love Archaeopteryx. The fossil had feathers, as well as teeth, claws, a bony tail, and other reptilian traits, and was just the thing that Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection had predicted would exist. The feathers left no question that the Archaeopteryx was a bird, but the creature also had many traits that suggested a reptilian ancestry. Hugh Falconer said at the time in a letter to a friend, had the Solenhofen quarries been commissioned to turn out a strange being a la Darwin, it could not have been executed the behest more handsomely than in the Archaeopteryx.
Oh my god. What a way of saying that.
I know. Today, some still refer to the Archaeopteryx as that missing link that he was looking for between birds and dinosaurs, even after all this time, even after we found all of this. I say we're not paleontologists. Even after
We're not?
paleontologists have
I
found
thought we took out dinosaurs.
other sort of missing links, like these dinosaurs that had feathers. That's like, oh, clearly this was happening. It checks a lot of boxes for an animal that seems between what we thought were two distinct categories of organism, of animal. But there's a good reason to not use the phrase, which Darwin himself knew. It's why he didn't use the term missing link in his publication on the origin. As Nicholas Piensen, Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, the curator of fossil marine mammals, puts it, life is really a tree, not a chain.
Hell yeah.
We know this. Family trees, you know what I'm saying?
Hashtag anthropology.
Also from the Smithsonian, because a few of my sources were from Smithsonian articles, Brianna Pobiner, the Smithsonian Human Origins Program anthropologist, in an interview discussing the concept of a missing link, said, to me, the idea of a missing link implies a linear chain of one species evolving into another, and so on. Sorry, I got tripped up there. That isn't the pattern we see. Instead, evolution produces a tree-like branching pattern with multiple descendants of an ancestor species existing at the same time, sometimes even alongside that ancestor species. The chain metaphor that missing link implies has us looking for straight lines, when in reality, we know evolution to be much more complex. Not every fossil creature can be slotted in as a direct ancestor to something alive today. That's why paleontologists now, in 2025, have really come to despise the term missing link. It obscures the true pattern of evolutionary change.
Right.
That discipline, paleontology, tends to prefer the term transitional form or intermediate form, because those phrases imply that the species are part of an ever-changing system. Not that transitional form is without its own problems. That phrase can sometimes inadvertently make an evolutionary cousin into an ancestor. At least the phrase highlights that the organism in question helps inform what paleontologists have identified as a major shift in that organism's life history. There's also a political reason that experts have often avoided using transitional form missing links. Anti-evolution organizations like the Discovery Institute have claimed that missing links are exactly that. They are missing. They can't be found. For every new facet of evolution that a particular organism might show us, there's an evolution denier pointing to what has not yet been found as if it's disproof. there's the concept of no results, or what the hell is it called? It's like no information is still information, or no data is still data.
Yeah.
The hell am I trying to say?
Um, no press is bad press.
No. Oh, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, it's very ignorant of like other evidence, but
Right.
yeah.
It's reminds me of the flat earthers, how like there are a sect of flat earthers who will go out and like do their own research, and despite finding over and over and over again that the earth is not fucking flat,
Did
they're like,
did
no, I just haven't found that piece of information yet,
did,
but I'll get there.
did Shannon tell you?
What? Oh, yes. He did.
I cannot take it seriously.
That is so funny.
Uh,
That's really
anyway,
funny.
yeah.
In fact, we humans are one of
Humans.
you. I am a human. We are one of the core problems with the phrase missing link. Many people associate the phrase distinctly with humans.
Mm-hmm.
For them, it conjures up an image of a half human, half ape creature that would slot us, or would slot right in between us and chimpanzees. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as we know, evolution doesn't proceed along that linear path that would spit out such a creature. We have a family tree, not a family ladder. Instead of a single fossil that answers all our questions, we have a varied group of fossil humans who help us understand that we are just part of a much larger tale. I own a book called The Fossil Tale, which I read for my paleoanthropology course, and it dives into all of this stuff. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't focus solely on human evolution. You start learning about early evolution from eukaryotic cells to prokaryotic, long after the earth was formed, and gradually work your way through time so you understand many of the basic concepts and branches that by the time you reach the chapter on human evolution, it all makes complete sense. And you're not like, well, how could this ape guy become that slightly different ape guy? Huh. It's a good book. It's a long one, but uh, it's really interesting.
I was just gonna say because that's how evolution works.
Yeah. Yeah. Ernst Haeckel claimed
Oh,
that claimed that human evolution occurred in 24 stages, and that the 23rd stage was a theoretical missing link that he named Pithecanthropus alalis, or ape man lacking speech.
bless you.
Yeah, seriously. He claimed the origin of humanity was to be found in Asia. He theorized that the missing link was to be
Okay.
found on the lost continent of Lemuria,
Oh no.
located in the Indian Ocean. He
Okay.
believed that Lemuria was the home of the first humans, and that Asia was the home of many of the earliest primates, and that Asia was the cradle of human evolution, hominid evolution, excuse me.
Okay.
He argued that humans were closely related to the primates of Southeast Asia, and he outright and publicly rejected Darwin's hypothesis of human origins being in Africa.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
The search for a fossil that connected man and ape was pretty unproductive until the paleontologist Eugene Dubois traveled to Indonesia to do exactly that. Between 1886 and 1895, Dubois discovered remains that he later described as an intermediate species between humans and monkeys. He
Okay.
named the hominin Pithecanthropus erectus, erect ape man, which we know now as Homo erectus.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The headline of the Philadelphia Inquirer on February 3rd, 1895 read, "The Missing Link, a Dutch surgeon in Java unearths the needed specimen." And therefore, Java Man became a thing.
Java Man.
In 1912, Charles Dawson claimed that he had discovered the missing link between early apes and man. In February, Dawson contacted Arthur Smith Woodward, keeper of geology at the Natural History Museum, stating that he had found a section of a human-like skull in Pleistocene gravel beds near Piltdown, East Sussex.
I
That
bet
summer,
he did.
he and Woodward purportedly discovered more bones and artifacts, which they connected to the same individual. These finds included a jawbone, more skull fragments, a set of teeth, and primitive tools. Woodward reconstructed the skull fragments and hypothesized that they belonged to a human ancestor from 500,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The discovery was announced at a Geological Society meeting and was given the Latin name Aeoanthropus dawsoni, or Dawson's Dawn Man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The questionable significance of the assemblage remained the subject of considerable controversy until it was exposed in November 1953, after Dawson's death, as a forgery.
That's 40 years.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. That's
Yeah,
40
it's
years
insane.
to be like, this is a fucking... Okay,
Yeah.
continue. I'm not going to spoil it for people who don't know.
Time magazine published evidence gathered variously by scholars Kenneth Page Oakley, Sir Wilfrid Edward LaGrosse Clark, and
What a Call of Cthulhu protagonist name.
wait for it, Joseph Wiener. If you can't guess, that is in fact the name I have highlighted because I was so excited to tell you.
I know a guy whose last name is Wiener.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Samuel Wiener. Shout out.
Wiener.
He's a friend
Shout
of
out Sammy Wiener.
the old show. Sam Wiener.
Oh goodness. Those folks proved that Piltdown Man was a forgery, demonstrating that the fossil was a composite of 3 distinct species. It consisted of a human skull from the medieval period, the 500-year-old lower jaw of an orangutan, and chimpanzee fossil teeth. Someone had created the appearance of age by staining the bones with an iron solution and chromic acid. Microscopic examination revealed file marks on the teeth, and it was deduced from this that someone had modified the teeth to a shape more suited to a human diet.
Yeah. They're just filing them down over there.
Richard Milner, an American historian of science, argued that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle may have been the perpetrator of the Piltdown Man hoax. I know, I can't believe it. We've talked about him like almost every episode. It's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
I know. Milner noted that Doyle had a plausible motive at the time, namely revenge on the scientific establishment for debunking one of his favorite psychics. And Milner said that Doyle's work, The Lost World, appeared to contain several clues referring cryptically to his having been involved in the hoax.
I forgot that he wrote The Lost World.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And coincidentally, the exact area that Piltdown Man was found was near, I believe, a golf course or a golf range that he played at very frequently.
This is my new favorite theory.
I know.
Okay. Arthur Conan Doyle is responsible for Piltdown Man. Worlds collide.
In 1958, J. Crew, bulldozer bulldozer operator for a logging company in Humboldt County, California, discovered a set of large 16-inch long human-like bare footprints sunk deep in the mud in the Six Rivers National Forest.
Wait, what year is this?
1958.
Okay.
When he told his coworkers, many of them claimed to have seen similar tracks on previous job sites, as well as experiencing odd incidents like an oil drum, which weighed 450 pounds, being moved without explanation, or anyone seeing anyone move it.
Okay.
These guys soon started using the term Bigfoot to describe the apparent culprit.
What?
At first, they thought someone was playing a prank on them, but after observing more of these massive footprints, J. Crew contacted a reporter at the Humboldt Times newspaper. The reporter interviewed other lumber workers about the mysterious footprints, introducing the name Bigfoot to the broader public. Someone eventually made a plaster cast of the footprints, and J. Crew appeared holding one of the casts on the front page of the Humboldt Times on October 6, 1958. If anyone wants to go take a look. The story then spread rapidly across the US as reporters from like the New York Times and Los Angeles Times picked up on the story and contacted the Humboldt Times. Bigfoot proponents Grover Krantz and Jeffrey H. Bourne both believed that Bigfoot could be a member of the extinct Southeast Asian ape species, Gigantopithecus blacki.
Okay.
According to Bourne, it may have followed the many other animal species that migrated across the Bering Land Bridge to the Americas. Unfortunately, to date, no Gigantopithecus fossils have been found in the Americas. In Asia, the only recovered fossils have been of mandibles and teeth, and nothing about any big feet. Krantz has argued that Gigantopithecus blacki could have been bipedal, but the consensus view is that it was quadrupedal, as its enormous mass would have made it difficult for it to adopt a bipedal gait.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other Bigfoot proponents who think that Bigfoot may be the missing link between apes and humans have promoted this idea that Bigfoot is a descendant of Gigantopithecus blacki, but that ape diverged from orangutans around 12 million years ago and is not related to humans. Some suggest that Neanderthals, Homo erectus, Paranthropus robustus, or Homo heidelbergensis.
I love heidelbergensis.
Yeah. To be the creature, but like all other great apes, no remains of any of those species have been found in the Americas. Thomas Sewid, a Bigfoot Sewid, Sewid, a Bigfoot researcher and member of the Kwakwaka'wakw tribe, claims they're just the other tribe. They're just big, hairy humans with nocturnal vision that choose not to have weapons or fire or permanent shelters. Ecologist Robert Pyle argues that most cultures have accounts of human-like giants in their folk history, expressing a need for larger-than-life creatures that look kind of like them.
Yeah.
Many languages had its own name for this kind of creature, featured in local versions of legends surrounding big, hairy men, or human-like giants, I should say. Many names mean something like wild man or hairy man, although other names described common actions that it was said to perform, such as eating clams or shaking trees. European folklore traditionally had many instances of the wild man in the woods, or wild people. Looking at you, wildlings. George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Often described as a naked creature covered in hair with only the face, feet, and hands, and in some cases, the knees, elbows, or breasts remaining bare. These European wild people ranged from human hermits to human-like monsters in their descriptions. Upon migrating to North America, like people moving, myths of the wild people persisted, with documented sightings of wild people reported in what is now New York State and Pennsylvania. Gregory Forth said in his 2007 paper titled Images of the Wild Man Inside and Outside Europe, to be sure, the modern Sasquatch is largely the product of a European-derived culture, as possibly to an even greater extent is the Australian Yahoo. Accordingly, traces of the European wild man are discernible in both figures.
Yahoo?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was called the Yowie in Australia.
It might be. That's just what
he called it
in this in this 2007 paper.
Okay.
Yet the Sasquatch is partly rooted in Amerindian representations of hairy hominids, even though the relationship between these, which are often described as small, and the giant Sasquatch of the popular Canadian and American imagination is hardly straightforward. So he's saying there that our modern interpretation of what Sasquatch is more likely, or more than likely, interpreted through the European eye. And we've kind of
projected.
Like our version isn't as straightforward as it is for First Nations people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Over time, stories about Bigfoot have entered into oral tradition and become part of regional folklore. The historical record of Bigfoot in the Oregon country begins in 1904 with sightings of a hairy wild man by settlers in the Six Rivers area on the coast. Similar accounts by miners and hunters followed in later decades. In 1924, miners on Mount St. Helens claimed to have been attacked by giant apes. Local Native Americans used this event in particular to discuss publicly their own knowledge of Tsiatko, Tsiatko, hirsute quotation, wild Indians of the woods, traditions first documented in 1865. Many of the indigenous cultures across the North American continent include tales of mysterious hair-covered creatures living in forests. Appropriation. Look what we've done. And according to anthropologist David Daegling, these legends existed long before contemporary reports of the creature described as Bigfoot. These stories differ in their details regionally and between families in the same community. But these stories are particularly prevalent in the Pacific Northwest. Tribes in coastal Oregon related Bigfoot to ancient tales of wild men who lurked near villages and left huge footprints, as described in Clara Pearson's tales from the Nehalem Tillamook. Members of plateau tribes, such as those of the Warm Springs Reservation, identify Bigfoot as a, quote, stick Indian, unquote, a diverse category of potentially hostile beings who steal salmon or confuse people by whistling, causing them to be lost or become lost. On the Toole River Indian Reservation, petroglyphs created by a tribe of Yokuts at a site called Painted Rock are alleged by this woman, Kathy Strain, author of the 2008 book Giants, Cannibals, Monsters, Bigfoot in Native Culture, to depict a group of Bigfoots called, quote, the family, unquote. The largest glyph there is called Hairy Man, also known as Mayak Datat, and they are estimated to be 1,000 years old.
This book sounds like it's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm sorely hung up on that.
Basically, she made these allegations
Yeah.
She named these things,
Okay.
I should say.
Cool. That was really cool of her to do that.
Yeah. According to the Tulare County Board of Education in 1975, Bigfoot, the hairy man, was a creature that was a great big giant with long, shaggy hair. His long, shaggy hair made him look like a big animal. He was good in a way because he ate the animals that might harm people. And Yokut's parents warned their children not to venture near the river at night or they may encounter the creature. 16th century Spanish explorers and Mexican settlers told tales of these Los Vigilantes Oscuros, or dark watchers, large creatures alleged to stalk their camps at night. In the region that is now Mississippi, a Jesuit priest living with the Natchez in 1721 reported stories of hairy creatures in the forest known to scream loudly and steal livestock.
Huh?
In 1929,
It was
Native
just
American.
me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great.
And steal livestock. You're stealing all the goats
Yeah, I'm
and the
saving them.
pigs.
Freeing them.
Piggy!
Releasing them into the wild.
Yeah. In 1929, Native American agent and teacher J.W. Burns, who lived and worked with the Tsutsailes Nation, I probably got that wrong. Almost definitely. Published a collection of stories titled Introducing BC's, British Columbia's, Hairy Giants, a collection of strange tales about British Columbia's wildmen as told by those who say they have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally published in a magazine that later got its own thing, compilation, collection thing.
Okay.
These stories offered various anecdotal reports of wild people, including an encounter a tribal member had with a hairy wild woman who could speak the language of the Douglas First Nation. Burns coined the term Sasquatch, so this was 1929, believed to be the anglicized version of Saskets, roughly translating to hairy man in the Halk Emelem language. Burns describes the Sasquatch as a tribe of hairy people whom they claim have always lived in the mountains, in tunnels and caves. The Lakota, or Western Sioux, call Bigfoot Chihatanka in Dakota, or Eastern Sioux. Chie means elder brother, and Tanka means great or big. In English, though, the Sioux usually call him the big man.
Mm-hmm.
Cherokee folklore include tales of the Tsul'kalu, who are described as slant-eyed giants that resided in the Appalachian Mountains and is sometimes associated with Bigfoot. Members of the Lumi tribe tell tales about creatures known as Tsemeques. Details differed among various family accounts concerning the creature's diet and activities, but general descriptions of big, hairy man were typically consistent. Some versions tell of more threatening creatures. The Stihaya, or Quiquiai, were a nocturnal race, and children were warned against saying the names so that the monsters would not come and carry them off to be killed. The Haudenosaunee tell of an aggressive, hair-covered giant with rock-hard skin known as the Otniyarhe, or stone giant, more commonly referred to as the Genosqua. The Alutiiq of the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska tell of the Nantinak, a Bigfoot-like creature. In 1840, Reverend Elkanah Walker, who was a Protestant missionary, recorded stories of giants from the native people living near what is now Spokane, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
These giants were said to live on and around the peaks of the nearby mountains, stealing salmon from the fishermen's nets. Gail Highpine wrote in her article, Traditional Attitudes Towards Bigfoot in Many North American Cultures. She said, here in the Northwest and west of the Rockies generally, Indian people regard Bigfoot with great respect. He is seen as a special kind of being because of his obvious close relationship with humans. Some elders regard him as standing on the border between animal-style consciousness and human-style consciousness, which gives him a special kind of power. It is not that Bigfoot's relationship to make him it oh my god. Sorry, I typed this weird. It is not Bigfoot's relationship to make him superior to other animals. In Indian culture, unlike Western culture, animals are not regarded as inferior to humans, but rather as elder brothers and teachers of humans. But tribal cultures everywhere are based on relationship and kinship. The closer the kinship, the stronger the bond. Ray Owen, son of a Dakota spiritual leader from Prairie Island Reservation in Minnesota, told a reporter from the Red Wing Republican Eagle, they exist in another dimension from us, but can appear in this dimension whenever they have a reason to. See, it's like there are many levels, many dimensions. When our time in this one is finished, we move on to the next. But the big man can go in between.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are all a collection of oral histories that I don't want to say it completely is juxtaposed from the beginning of this episode where I was talking about the missing link in evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think interpretations of what the story of Bigfoot is entirely subjective. Obviously, now in modern culture, like in pop culture, Bigfoot is, daddy cryptid or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of people's objective opinion on what Bigfoot is. Bigfoot is really enigmatic. Like,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot to break down about it. There's a lot to go over. I could keep going talking about Bigfoot
Yeah.
as the missing link in evolution. I could talk about the Yeti or other wild men in Europe, but since we're
Mm-hmm.
really focusing on America, I wanted to have I wanted to find a lot of sources for different First Nations accounts and interpretations of
Mm-hmm.
this being or this creature, depending on how people look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, though when I like lived in Washington and stuff, the way that I always remember it being kind of talked about was essentially like a nature spirit or guardian,
Yeah,
which I think
because Bigfoot is
is
so like
nice.
inherently a part of the mountains and the
Yeah.
forest.
And the only reason you should ever be scared of being attacked by Bigfoot is if you do something you're not supposed to be doing. Like if you're
Yeah,
out purposely desecrating nature or something. Yeah.
yeah. Like if Bigfoot exists and we're supposed to be living together on this planet, why would you purposefully ruin his home?
Yeah. The other thought that I've heard about Bigfoot is that they question mark are tulpas.
Mm-hmm.
Something something that like the more people believe in it, the more real it becomes.
Right.
And I thought that that was very interesting,
That is really interesting.
like a really interesting perspective on it.
I feel like I feel that way about certain things sometimes.
Yeah,
You know, maybe not maybe not Bigfoot,
like
but
not like tangible things either. Like you can't will something physically into existence, but the more belief you put behind a thought, the more you manifest it, right? Like
mhm.
I do that every time I go to Goodwill.
Isn't that also called confirmation bias?
Yeah, which I've been having a lot this week,
Mm,
honestly, because I feel like things about Boston keep popping up.
I know. Frequency illusion.
Oh, yeah.
a cognitive bias in which a person notices a specific concept, word, or product more frequently after recently becoming aware of it. It's considered to be a result of selective attention and confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So, like what you choose to pay attention to and put energy into, and also going out and seeking only things that would add to what you believe, which is confirmation bias. And there are a lot of people out there that do that, not just with Bigfoot or flat
Yeah.
Earth, but a lot of other things too.
Yes.
Cough, cough,
Look,
Tylenol.
I was gonna say looks out the window at the world on fire.
Let me just look at the sky real quick. Yep, she's still there. Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, I really didn't have a destination for at the end of my notes because I really just wanted to let out all of this information and then hear what you think. Do
Yeah.
you believe Bigfoot is real?
I believe that Bigfoot is real in the sense that people believe in Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe Bigfoot is real because the evidence is not really.
No. All the most compelling evidence about Bigfoot being real has all been debunked
Yeah.
as fake. The
For example,
videos, the
yeah.
footprints,
The DNA, the hair
the
samples.
DNA, yeah. I
For
mean,
those of you listening that don't know, people have collected what are supposedly Bigfoot hair samples that have almost entirely been just animals, like
yeah,
raccoons and shit.
and in the few instances where they'll test something and they'll say, "We don't know what this is."
Mm-hmm.
Again, that doesn't mean it's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Who knows how long that sample was there? It might be contaminated, it might be. And honestly, how many new species are recorded every day? Granted, a lot of them are like bugs and fish and not necessarily giant bipedal hominids walking through the
Yeah.
woods, but like it's not uncommon that something exists that is not scientifically recorded. So,
What if Bigfoot was just a species of megafauna? You know?
yeah, like Nessie.
Yeah. We don't really have a lot of that anymore. I don't
Mm-mm.
think we have any megafauna in the Americas.
No. Bring back mammoths. Let's
Bring
go.
back the giant sloth, please. That shit's terrifying. If you've ever seen the skeleton of a giant sloth, that shit is so scary.
I think I have a photo from when I took at the Smithsonian.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I again, it's also one of those things where I think Bigfoot, more than a lot of other things we've talked about, it's hard to separate the the First Nations lore from it's become very entwined with like the white people lore as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially in areas like the Northwest and the UP that have like heavy mining or logging
Mm-hmm.
operations. Those kind of myths and legends do become kind of intertwined, and it's harder to separate like this is just a settler folklore and this is Native American folklore. It's harder
Mm-hmm.
to they become very intertwined.
Just like the Hodag.
Yeah.
Throwback. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Lots to think about.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I do like the idea that Bigfoot can use dimension doors.
Yeah, seriously. They exist in another dimension from us, but can appear in this dimension whenever they have a reason to.
Yep.
Yeah. Sick as fuck. Well, I
Which
hope.
in that regard, they would be just like any other Fey creature.
Yeah.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh my God.
Bigfoot's a fairy. That's it.
Oh my God.
Problem solved.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle made Piltdown Man. Can you imagine?
This is the that's my favorite thing that I've taken
Oh,
away from this episode so far. I don't know
yeah.
how I've never heard that before.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think I read that he also had like given what's his face a ride one day or something.
Oh, like they were seen together.
Yeah, but I might be just making that up. That might be about something else. Also, rest in peace, Jane Goodall. She believed that Bigfoot existed. Did you watch her
Yeah.
famous last words on Netflix?
No. I
Oh
don't
my
I
God.
haven't read my Netflix for a while.
Oh, there was this interview with her done shortly before she died that was only supposed to release after she passed.
Well, it was pretty sudden, right? Because she was in the middle of like a speaking
Yeah,
tour.
she was. Um, I mean, she's also 95 or something.
I think she was
So
91. Yeah,
91,
she's pretty
okay.
old. Yeah.
Um, but in the interview, she's asked these questions about her life and her opinions and things and her love life, and she talks about how like when she was married twice. When she was married to her husband, she was so in love, but only now looking back that she just did it out of practicality and she would have been totally fine. Like she's so fine just on her own that she
Yeah.
would actually prefer to meet her chimps in whatever is in the beyond than she would her loved ones. I'm like, hell yeah. Fuck these people. But then
Those chimps all loved her.
at the very end, the interviewer left the room. Oh, all of the cameras were remotely operated, by the way. Or
Oh.
they were like not remotely operated. They were like literally robots that could like sense like your eyes on the camera or whatever and would like zoom or yeah. It was literally just her and
Oh.
the interviewer. The interviewer left at the end and then she talked directly to the camera, saying like her actual last words to everybody and saying like please help this planet and like please find the thing that you were made to do. If you don't find it, that's okay, you still matter. Being here is what you were meant to do and like all this stuff. And I Seth was sat next to me on the couch and I'm just sitting here like trying to keep it together.
Uh,
I love her so much. I always have. I've loved her since I was like young. Oh,
I was actually thinking this, we don't need to include this in the episode, but I was actually thinking that I was like, what if we get to a point where we raise enough money with our chapter that we can donate some to the Jink It All Institute?
oh yeah. Or Shoots and Roots. Have you heard of that? It's
Uh-uh.
her initiative to get local groups kind of like just all over the globe
Mm-hmm.
uh involved in grassroots efforts to um take action against climate change,
Mm-hmm.
human induced climate change and um natural preservation and things like that. And it's so freaking cool. It's
Yeah.
so cool. She's going specifically to communities within countries which may be affected most heavily by human induced climate change and nature's destruction. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people who are living right next to landfills that are 5 stories high.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll
and, you
have
know,
to we'll have to do some research into that, but
yeah, it's pretty great.
I would like to.
Hell yeah. Hey, thanks for talking to me about Bigfoot. It was a good one.
I was gonna say your mom's a Bigfoot, but
she's really not. She's really not. She's got like size 6 feet or something like that.
Oh my god.
When she listens to this, she'll text me and tell me what it actually is.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, bye.
Bye.
Well, that concludes this week's broadcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you wish to stay in touch, reach out to us at broadcastfromthebelfry@gmail.com or stalk us on Instagram at broadcastfromthebelfry. Again, I hope you've enjoyed our little show. Please rate and review. And until next week, stay spooky.